Hi, my name is Brian with Cario Technologies, and in this short video I'll demonstrate the process of creating and using a diagnostic disk with the Cario control box. This will create the necessary debugging information for troubleshooting the physical hardware in case of a Return Merchandise Authorization or RMA. Note that we've found some USB thumb drives to have problems and aren't detected properly by the control box, so it may be necessary to use a different thumb drive in case you don't have the same results as what I'm about to demonstrate. I'll be following the steps outlined in a PDF document that's in our knowledge base, article number 619. The download link to the diagnostic file is also available in the PDF or from the link you see here. I'll be using a Mac to create the diagnostic disk as this process requires tools that are not natively available for Windows. If you don't happen to have a Mac, there is a tool available on Windows which is freely available and is referred to within the PDF instructions. So here I've opened up Disk Utility, and this is going to give us some information about the USB drive that is going to be helpful when I run the dd command that I'll show in just a minute here. So I've gone ahead and plugged in the USB drive, and I'll select the device, and I'll right click and go to Information. And this way I can pull up the actual disk identifier, or just the name of the disk as it's recognized by the file system as it's mounted. And that's that root level of the name is what we're ultimately going to need when we run that dd command. You'll also want to make sure that you unmount this any volumes that are currently associated with that USB device. So now I'm going to jump over to the terminal, and we're going to use a special command. It's the dd command, and that will help us to image the diagnostic file onto the disk. So using Disk Utility, we've already determined that the name of the USB disk is called disk 1. And so now what we're going to do is issue the dd command with the following parameters that you'll see here. So we're using the if for the source file, which is the file that you downloaded from the PDF document, which is the actual image file itself for the diagnostic, and then followed by the second part saying of equals, and then the path to the USB stick from the file system, which is in /dev. So I'm going to go ahead and run this command right now. Normally it's going to take up to about a minute, depending on the speed of the USB thumb drive, and in this case, and it doesn't have to be a large drive. I think about 64 megs should easily be sufficient. And again, as I pointed out earlier, if it does not work following the rest of this demo here, then you can try a different USB stick, because we have found that some of them don't work very well. So assuming it burns successfully, you will get the output, and it will show you something like what you see here, indicating that it burned some data to the disk. And at that point, you can now insert that into the control box. Here I have the control box 1110, and you'll see on the back side there are two USB ports. And I'm going to take the USB stick that I've imaged with the diagnostic information, plug it into either of the two ports. You'll see here that the box is currently turned off, which you'll need to make sure it's shut down. So I'm going to plug it in, turn it on, and I'm going to fast forward here just so that you can hear. It takes about 2 minutes, and you'll hear something like this. Once you hear this sound, you know that the diagnostic tool is working. However, you'll need to wait about 1 hour for the diagnostic tests to complete. At that point, the box will begin to beep every 30 seconds. Once that happens, you can remove the disk, then plug it back into your computer to recover the diagnostic output. And that's the information you will then send back to technical support.